Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We're going to be filling in Game 2 of Team Solomid versus Complexity. I'm getting myself an invite to the game, and I have accepted it, so I'll be going into this one real quick. And we're going to be going underway with Game 2 very, very shortly. It's going to be awesome. Looking forward to it. And, Team Solomid did take that first game. I'm now spectating. That's awesome. Riv and I are in here. And for those of you just joining us, I am Freak. We're at Riot Games, make spotlights, pretty awesome. Rivington here, introduce yourself.
Rivington III, I am player support. I'm going to be handling all your issues in the game, which are actually quite low lately, which is awesome. So we're getting back to you within a day's time if you have any problems in the game. So you're back into the game. And I'm also taking you out if you're being bad. So don't be bad. No trolling.
No trolling.
But that doesn't happen.
Never, no. Of course not. Everyone is a perfect saint. That's why the tribunal exists. So we are here. Looks like Complexity going to be running up to the blue team. TSM going to be over on purple right now. We're waiting for the last 4 people to join in. Complexity has 4 of their members in the game. TSM only with 2. We're waiting for quite a lot of them, actually. Only a special and odd one filling in the roster so far. But soon we will have lots of players, and it will be quite awesome.
Indeed, and we're gonna have to see Complexity. At the end of that game, there's as I said, a certain point in when StarCraft players are playing where they're like, I could GG this game. Mentality for the second game just needs to be more clear. And Complexity, when they were in their base in the end of that game, that's what they were thinking. But obviously, you usually don't surrender in this. It could really go any way. A final push down middle could be the win for your team, even after a game that just seemed like you were hanging on by a thread. So Complexity at the end of that game knew, we have to switch this up. We have to understand what we did wrong. Did we not have enough ward control? Did we not come into the game thinking, enough burst damage? Gangplank did go tanking instead of attack damage. They weren't really able to output any of that damage in the fight. There was no front burst damage to really deter the team from staying in that fight.
Yeah, the build that Gangplank went for was Warmog's Atmos Impaler. And the thing with that build is you're kind of waiting until you finish both those pieces till you actually do anything useful.
Right.
You open with the Wriggles, that's pretty good. You've got Parlay damage up, but that's pretty good. But then you're kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to build. Oh, finally some damage again. And he got Warmog's, and he maybe got like a Chain Fist at the end, but he did not actually finish any sort of meaningful damage output build. So he was kind of like just sort of useless throughout the mid game because he maxed Parlay, and then he didn't really get any points into raise morale at all. He went for Orange's second, so he wasn't a big threat to anyone in the game. After like the first 15 minutes or so, and it ended up being kind of a big drawback to him.
It was a pretty good combination to have Gangplank, Kennen, and an Astro to come in. Just continue to do damage off of that.
Yeah, you've got great initiation when Gangplank raises morales, Ash lands an arrow, Nasus comes in there, puts on the Spirit Flyer, gets the damage from raise morale, Ash gets the damage from raise morale. They certainly were very AD heavy, and it could have been really great for them, but unfortunately it just didn't pan out as best as they wanted to. A lot of it really was the early game. It was the lanes were so good for Solomid. They played that so well, right? Of course, the standard team comp is mage mid, tanky guy solo top, range plus support bottom. That's what Complexity did. They played standard lineup, good champion selection, good comp there. But Solomid was like, that's all well and fine, and we could probably win by doing the same thing as them. But I know what we can do, and we can completely zone Nasus. We can actually have Udyr do a pretty good job here 1v2 because that bottom lane is not high damage, it's not high crowd control. So you can really kind of, just build yourself an advantage by taking a risk by saying, Udyr, you'd probably be better top, but we're going to completely crush Nasus. And that's really kind of the way they did that, is that, look, we're going to take a small hit to get a really big advantage, and that really played out for them. And that's just super smart by TSM. Whoever made that call made the right call. It really did dominate that game.
It actually caught me off guard. I didn't even see that they did it at the beginning. I was like, wait, there's 2. Yeah, there's 2 top. So yeah, it seems like they switched it up right there when they saw that Nasus. Maybe not. We'll have to see. Coming into this next game, I don't think we're going to see a Nasus. We're definitely going to see some different lineups. TSM may run a few of the same things. We'll definitely see that Zillion pushed out of the game. Nobody wants to see him. We'll see Lee Sin banned in the jungle. Nobody wants to see that. So we'll have to see what other bans they really come in with. And as we said, the bans can also be for that team if they want to ban out certain things so they can get a character. We've seen that as well. So it works both ways.
It really does. So we're going to see, Team Solomid still wait for the last 2 to come in, but it looks like Chaos has made his way in. So it's Reginald and looks like, I'm always blanking on the last player, Rain Man. It's always Rain Man's always the last one. I don't know why. But he's always the last one in.
Maybe setting up some different stuff. They're obviously not going to change roles, as we saw before with Goose changing roles. That was pretty cool. Usually everybody plays the same exact thing. Yeah. But if they're going to change up masteries or whatnot, that's what we're waiting on.
I know Millennium does that a certain amount. They actually have a little bit of a moving lineup. Fnatic to a certain amount as well. They'll kind of do lane switches, but generally speaking, they have, here's our duo bot, here's whatever, but, mid and top switch a lot. TSM is actually very, very regimented. I mean, certainly you have lane assignments like, KX is now soloing top as Vayne, but the roles of the champions are always the same, right? KX always running range DPS, often always running jungler. Reginald pretty much mids every single game. Occasionally he can run top if it really calls for that, but, they play a much more regimented game. And I'm going to see if Complexity does that. I think Complexity has a couple of lineup switches. I think I Will Dominate's a more recent addition to the team. Yun's a recent addition to the team as well. So we'll kind of see what's going on. Apparently Reginald taking a bathroom break real fast, so got a little bit of time spent there. It's going to be fine. And we're going to see what these guys end up doing.
On there you can see Complexity hanging out, getting ready for their match as they're kind of just milling around, talking to each other, letting them know what's going on. As I said, what happened this time, what happened that time. And it definitely helps to discuss. We didn't really see any initiation from Gangplank out of the jungle early game. He had buffs a lot, but really it was just waiting for the ulti from Gangplank to come out. And he wasn't there to actually take any advantage from that either because he was doing something else. So Gangplank was a little underutilized in that game, like we said.
True.
And
You're right.
Yeah, he didn't really come out to gank at all.
Yeah, and I remember actually some of the matches from IEM China last weekend, we saw actually some dominating games because Gangplank would grab red, go parlay a kid, and just crush mid, and just kind of come back every 2 minutes.
Quick bottom golems red, second level gank, come out into mid.
And it's really good.
No expect.
Yeah, it's really, really
expectations.
Good. But yeah, so and I don't mean to harp on Complexity or anything, right? We're calling out mistakes and we're oh, geez, this lane didn't work very well.
Could happen.
A lot of it's TSM playing really well.
This is true.
You saw that when Gangplank actually went for that lizard buff the first time, TSM was already actually there stopping them. They had Alistar come down from top, they had Reginald come in from mid, they had the jungler there already, that Nocturne coming by. So they did actually a very good job of disrupting those movements, right? I'm sure Complexity wanted to gank and wanted to get all this stuff done, but TSM did a very good job of stopping that. They actually kind of were one step ahead, said, we know you want red to gank. We're going to stop you at red so you can't gank. A lot of those early movements, they dropped wards in cool places. They did a really good job at stopping those pushes. And you saw, Alistar had brought that initial ward down to top lane, and, you saw early on Nasus had warded that, so he couldn't really gank him, but, then Alistar dropped the ward, pieced out, and then no longer can that top lane be ganked anymore. So they did a lot of those cool things there. Shales has come into the game. 5 from Complexity are into the game. Still 3 from TSM, waiting on Reginald and Rain Man, solo mid, solo top, respectively, typically. And then when they get in, we'll be ready to kick off into Champion Select. Complexity will be taking first pick, first ban, blue team, all that fun stuff. They'll be getting that underway before too long.
Indeed, and going to be exciting. Like I said, I don't think TSM is going to come out with too much of the same team. Complexity, I don't think at all. I think everything's going to be different about that side. Junglers, obviously, to be banned out in the beginning. They're the main ones, as we said, Nocturne, Lee Sin, and, it's going to escape me now. Because I can't remember.
Nocturne, Lee Sin, Udyr.
Udyr, thank you.
Yep.
Couldn't remember man, bear, pig, turtle, phoenix.
Tiger.
Yes.
There's no pig, actually. You're
that's
wrong.
why you're here.
There's no pig. You're thinking South Park. I understand it's close. Thank you. Sorry, I'm going to be talking about the crowd. It's a good thing, but anyway. We are waiting for the Rayman to join in. He could be taking Udyr again. You never know. There's a lot of choices there. I want to see a Captain Teemo.
You would always want to see Captain Teemo.
Yeah, he's actually got a skin coming out. There's actually a couple of, for those who are curious on live, there's a new Teemo skin, because Teemo skin, superhero Teemo. But there were a couple of internal names for him. We weren't quite sure what to call him. One of them was actually Captain Teemo, that actually ended up not being one of the finalists.
30 now?
What?
Teemo skins?
Yeah. No, there's permutations, right? I think it'd be great if you could mix and match. I want the head from Captain Teemo, then I want the pants of Astronaut, and then the voice from Easter Bunny, and I want him to plant eggs. That'd be great. I think that'd be pretty excellent, mixing and matching skins. There's no way that could be abused at all, I don't think.
No, not at all.
I don't know. You look really funky, though.
I'd want Teemo that could full stack Cho'Gath.
That sounds awesome.
Giant lane Teemo.
Yes.
So we're waiting on the Rain Man still to come in here. I don't know where he is. Being the Rain Man, always the last one in. But we are going to have the second match going for you in just a few minutes. It is going to be Complexity versus Team Solo Mid. These guys have just played one game where Complexity faltered a little bit, but still played their game. They did quite well, and they held in there. Wasn't, like I said, able to get at TSM's turrets. Their defense on turrets, their ability to move in between lanes and just understand when something is going to happen instead of happening is really great, and they're able to counter things a few seconds before they happen. And that's really a big advantage for their team and how they come out on top of a lot of fights.
Yeah, Complexity definitely had some good initiates, but it was basically TSM actually built a pretty tanky team, right? Two of those champions were, big tank Udyr, big tank Nocturne, and so they would come in and the initiate would happen, and they would have Alistar always headbutt away. By the way, tell him to start. I think we should be good to go. I'll tenor in. But yeah, they would have Alistar always headbutt away the Kennen, so he would jump in and ult, and then get knocked out and not get to really do the rest of that ult. And then everyone else was so tanky that you would see Ashe, not able to break through that turtle shell or break through all that damage output, and they would just sort of start getting pushed down. You saw the one team fight in the jungle by Complexity's Golem. The fight started, it was 4v4, Brand had died, Gangplank had died, and then Udyr got to flash into Ashe's turret, tank an ult to the face, and just keep mauling her down, and she dropped, and it was like, wow, being big tanky is really useful here. And that's actually been winning them a lot of fights, so I kind of expect to see an Udyr ban somewhat. It seems to be like Rainman's best solo top, sort of best tanky DPS guy. He seems to be the most scary. Singe doesn't quite have that same sort of mauler type aspect where you can come in and be disruptive, but he's not like, I'm going to dive you on your turret and force you to die with damage output. And we are now in a champion select. That'll be great. First ban going to Complexity. Yoon is the captain here. He's going to ban out Zilean again. They don't want to deal with that one, so good call there. That always changes a little bit when first pick changes because sometimes you're like, I just don't want Zilean in the game at all. Sometimes it's like, well, we're going to make you ban Zilean because we're going to take him. And then you have that game back and forth. But it seems Complexity's like, nope, screw Zilean. Don't want to touch it.
All right, so it looks like we got a Zilean and a Galio going down. All right.
Similar bans to last time. TSM, not really Galio players. They really want Rainman on that sort of fighter role more so than Galio. We saw, Hotshot GG when he played Galio, full tank, 0-0 and 19, right, in every team fight, but no kills, no deaths. And Rainman's really much more of a fighter type player. I'm sure he could play a tank, but he does play Cho'Gath once in a while, but if you can get him on a big fighter, it's actually a little bit better. They give him Singed a lot. They give him Udyr quite a bit. There's again the Yorick ban, Complexity not wanting to deal with that. Yorick seems to be a really big, scary guy in this tournament so far.
They're definitely taking their time on these suspensions, making sure they are made correctly. There's a Caitlyn going down, shutting down a little bit of the poke game.
I'm going to laugh if it's another Kog'Maw ban if they just do the same bans over and over. There's one more ban to put through here. I forget which one it was. Was it Lee Sin?
Lee Sin was on TSM side, for sure. There was Kog'Maw.
Yep. So it's actually the other side, though, interestingly. Kog'Maw was, I thought, TSM's ban last time.
Oh, yeah, you're right, because TSM was first pick.
Yeah, because TSM dropped Galio, Caitlyn, Kog'Maw.
Right.
Same 6 bans. They just actually alternated the Kog'Maw Lee Sin.
He may stay Gangplank in the jungle, or obviously we may see him in lane again. That Udyr is out, so we'll have to see how they play that.
I'm curious to see whether they're not going Alistar again. Maybe it's because of Udyr, or it's because of not being against Gangplank. But they had the early support drop last time where he picked Alistar basically second pick. And I was like, no, we're going to go for Sona. We're going to go a very high sustain. Vayne is still available. Apparently, they're not really too afraid of what's available there.
Right.
Tristana's in there, Vayne's in there, Corki's in there. Ezreal has actually gotten a lot of love from the Chinese teams that we saw at IEM. But we're seeing a lot of pain potentially coming out here from Complexity. They could go for a high offense build. Udyr definitely leads the way for that. Udyr's high offense and high durability, so they can really go for a sort of a bruiser setup here. They can grab a Nocturne. And sort of go, that Nocturne Udyr, jump lane. They can even run a Taric, that new Taric ultimate in this patch. You can really go for kind of a heavy sort of bruiser front and just high burst damage. And Udyr really has that, so does Nocturne. So we could see really a bit of aggression here. And actually, again, for Ashe, they really, really want Ashe in this lineup. Which is, I guess, kind of new to me to see a team rush Ashe because, a lot of the teams we see in Europe and Asia and the other North American teams are really kind of just like, no, we're going to pick, the high damage output. But Ashe used to be like everyone's first pick, like back in Season 1 champs, all that stuff. But it seems that they're actually going to go for Vayne. And actually, they have like the same lineup again. It's the Vayne Alistar grab.
That was actually the exact pick for TSM last time in the order.
In the same order, exactly. Yeah. So they're kind of just mirroring that matchup. We're going to see if they take Brand away or if that's going to get, get brought in.
I could see Reginald playing a Brand again.
I could see it too. He has a couple other champions he plays really well.
For sure.
Caitlyn, or not Caitlyn. Cassiopeia is a good one. Talon, yes. Oh, Talon. Please keep. No, don't troll me with that. I want to see Talon. Talon's awesome. Okay, I'm okay with Akali. So they're going to instant lock Akali, which actually surprises me because Vayne can survive Akali quite well, and Alistar can really push her away. So it's interesting to see Sona Ezreal bot lane, probably jungle Gangplank. Akali's going to take one of the solos. I believe Rainman's been playing that a fair amount, so Rainman solo top against Udyr. I don't know if actually Akali wins that lane. I've not actually seen them duel in my time here, so I'm unsure which one would win, but Ezreal going to be pretty strong. And we're going to see what mage they go for. It might be another Brand, but we have some new picks already.
Yeah, this is funny. It's like Complexity was like, wow, we really liked that team comp last time. We're going to use it.
Yeah, we'll see what they do.
Let's see if they can pick. There's a Kennen coming out.
Same Kennen coming in.
Pooh Bear was Kennen. He will be Kennen again.
And, that's smart. That's so smart. Because again,
right.
we talked about that last time, right? That team did not have a blue buff requiring champion.
Yeah.
They did not have a blue buff champion. They're like, you know what? Now we can jungle. And the thing is, and look at this lineup, right? There's no jungle. There's no Janna, right? The support's not Janna. I mean, they could Gragas. Honestly, like Reginald does play Gragas, and so you could use Gragas to push away that Fiddlesticks. But also, look at me calling that. Yes. All right. So can they push away Gragas properly and make that one happen? They're gonna push on through, and there's the swaps coming in. It looks like blue team for Complexity going to be the Alistar Vayne lane, Udyr up top most likely, jungle Fiddle, and there's the Kennen in there. Reginald's going to be great with Gragas, of course. He's gotten, I think, was he the one that got the pentakill in the U.S. versus Germany game, or a couple months back in the Nations Cup?
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, right. You remember that one. So there's a good stuff there. What I also really like here, they've got Sona and Gangplank for move speed buffs. Both of them can give their teams move speed. That's a really, really big, helpful, awesome thing that they can do. So there's a lot of potential here. They don't have great range initiate. They really can. I mean, they can Gangplank ult, they can Gragas ult, but that's like. Gangplank ult's not a big enough slow to matter. Gragas ult's only like 900 range, so they'll try to get it in there. If they push one in, if they actually push in like Udyr, they can burst an Udyr. That's doable. So we'll see what they do with this. Odd One, going to see what his build is. As his minute ticks down, these players are going to sort of make sure the runes and masters are set up, that they're ready to go, that they're really happy with their setups here. Gragas is going to be good, but I can see it totally working here for Complexity.
Indeed. If they don't get farmed up, TSM has a pretty squishy team. They can take some hits. I mean, Reginald's obviously, Gragas becomes a tanky character. Rain Man getting a Rylas.
He can really die.
Oh yeah. Getting Rylas for Rain Man can make Kali pretty tanky, but still they have quite a squishy team, especially to have a Fiddle ulti coming over the wall with Kennen as well doing a slicing Maelstrom. You're going to be forced to be in the ultimates for a period of time.
I think this fight's going to be determined by basically it's going to be like, okay, how well can Complexity work as a team? Because again, TSM's team is really not tanky. They're very mobile. They're mobile, not tanky. So it's like, if Rice Panda gets in there and gets the fear or a stun from Alistar in time that Gragas can't ult away, they'll lose everyone. Yeah. Because they can move fast, Sona can make them dance, but the second half dance is not enough to not die to Crowstorm, because Kennen's going to come in there, Alistar's got CCs, Vayne can chase, Udyr can chase. The offensive potential from Complexity is freaking massive. And when you have to run for 5 seconds, it doesn't matter that your team's not that durable. You've got they only have Udyr and Alistar for the front line. That's pretty good. But last time you had Udyr, Alistar, and Nocturne for a front line, and that was much more tanky. They actually couldn't break through that. And so while you've got a really kitey team, you've got the potential to completely just crush enough of the lineup that Chaos can escape and maybe Xpecial can escape. But if you kill the other 3, it doesn't matter. And so if they can win the fights before Oddman finishes Warmogs and stacks the Warmogs, they'll really crush.
Right on. We see 30 seconds till this game begins. I love seeing the flash on Ezreal, just the double flash away. So trolly. And one of the best kiters in the game. I love to watch Ezreal, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see how they utilize that in this game. Again, Gragas, they have a lot of displacement on that team, so it's going to be Gragas ulti, possibly into that crescendo, and then right into the Rain Man, being able to take that out for his ultimate, since Akali can just fly across the map and kick you square in the face. Square in the face. Punch you in the mouth with her foot.
You love punch in the mouth with foot. I like that one, by the way. That's good.
All right, so here we go. Sitting in Fiddlesticks Bandito.
Oh, nice. Yeah, skin selection.
A little bit of skin.
Yeah,
Nice.
Pretty good.
Looks like
for all the old school War 3 players, there's a very slight reference to kicking face with leg or something like that. There's 3 people in the entire audience who will get that reference to Dead Man. But for those of you out there who are like me and understand that one, it's funny if you know. Wow. The rest of you are just like, what are you talking about, freak? And I'm okay with this. I ramble a lot.
Coming out, and it looks like pretty much the safe build. Going boots pots. Ezreal knows he's going to get some heals from Sona down bottom. He goes for the Dorans. It's going to get him a little health and damage. He'll be able to farm a lot easier. And Vayne going for the same thing because she also does have Alistar in her lane, and that is that constant heal support. So they both go for the Dorans. That's going to allow them to farm up nice and do that initial damage. Wow, they are about to party.
Oh, party. And they've found Alistar.
Oh, man, they're not
and here
moving.
comes White in the face. Alistar goes down. Chaos picking up that KO. They're going to run on through. Rayman is low. Reginald very, very low as well. Will he die to Ignite? It's going to be close. Pooh Bear trying to run away. He's going to drop down. And that won't be another kill picked up. KX getting the double kill. Chasing down. Yoon will flash away. And wow, TSM seem to be winning the game right now. They seem to be ahead a little bit.
Level 1 fight OPE.
That's amazing too. And actually, let me...
I don't even think he got a chance to pulverize.
I don't know how. There was 0 stun on this team. Like, he just didn't cast it. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, he got exhausted.
Exhaust doesn't stop you from stunning.
Rice Panda. Good luck, have fun, guys. That's what he types in chat. Good luck, GLHF. Oh, morals are crushed. All right, here we go.
I don't know how that happened. I really don't. That makes no sense to me.
He did get exhausted. I don't.
But that doesn't stop you from casting.
Yeah, it doesn't stop you from casting. Maybe he was just so surprised at the situation.
He just like goes into
a
seizure.
All right, that sounds a bad idea.
Oh dear. I mean, Rice Panda, there you go, going for the drain.
Yeah, this is unfortunate. They are going to be able to just toy with the jungle here. They do have the CV right there, and that's painful.
They're going to try to... Oh, dear.
So unfortunate. They're causing so
CVs.
much time. Yep, CV coming out. Very nice job there. And they can still toy with this. That's the problem with that, is they do not have to leave this position. They kind of feel that everybody got a little bit of an assist / gold and experience in that. So they have time to toy in this right now and not worry about the lane XP.
Yep, and Rayman's going to come on down. They see the blue buff
wow.
here. Rayman's in the front. There's the pulverize. And yeah, Rice Panda's not in great shape. Rayman going to still chase down. They found I Will Dominate. They've stopped him from getting blue, and it's full health, so it's going to be dangerous. It looks like they're going to leave that one for now. Reginald coming by.
Reggie. Wow.
Uh-oh.
Balls to the wall right now. Reginald just going through, almost getting a kill on Alistar. Once again, gets that mark of the assassin. But Akali cannot finish up with an extra auto attack on that one. Too much distance. And Rice Panda is forced to grab the big wolf and back. That does not feel good for jungler.
Yep, good job at TSM. Otto's going to get that blue buff for himself. Nice job.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, it was a good trade back and forth. It was kind of close, but then TSM managed to win that fight. They dealt enough damage, those fighters, just good enough. Gragas got that fast level 2, then came down into the fight, and that was enough to get him a nice solid victory there. People are going to deal a little bit of damage, but he's just not doing as well now. I mean, that first blood's kind of going to give you some gold.
This is also, yeah, this is going to hurt up top as well. The Dominate is going to be taking a good amount of damage from Rain Man. As you see, leveling in lane, having one level above your opponent is absolutely huge. That gives you another skill. If you're not already level 4 or your ultimate at level 6, then you're going to have more abilities than your opponent, and that pretty much puts you in the advantageous spot to start any fights and continue those fights in lane. So Rain Man feeling good right now, but Dominate actually coming up, and from level 1 is now level 3 before Rain Man definitely has that experience utility and is doing a very good job in top lane.
Yep, you can see he's going to push him around a little bit. Rain Man's going to go for a little bit of harassment. Has to be afraid of I Will Dominate. We'll want to try to trade to his advantage. So you can see Dominate missing a couple of minion kills there, unfortunately. We're going to see that Alistar is still there, but of course that double first blood from Kaox means he basically comes to lane with 2 Doran's Blades and already has boots of speed at 4 minutes. That's just massive. That's just so good.
That's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, Rice Panda not jungling all that fast. You see Gangplank level 2 with blue buff coming around the map. You see Fiddlesticks level 2 as well, just barely has cleared out some of these camps. But yeah, he's gonna like recall for mana almost.
Kaox is, not even worried about the last hits either. He is going straight at his lane, pushing that back into the tower. He is not giving Yoon or Shales a chance to really keep their positioning here. Good quick W right over. A lot of that skill of Kaox will not hit any minions, so he's going to use that to harass a bit. And we do see Gangplank coming in middle. Kennen forced a lightning rush a little too early. He got caught in the middle of that one, and he's forced to turn back here. Can he get out of the way? He does have 2 right on his heels. The body slam coming out of Gragas. Looks like they will be able to take down Nubby Pooh Bear in middle. Very nice job as they followed him right back and going under the turret. Gangplank enters back into the jungle, and TSM is really giving Complexity a hard time right now.
Yeah, that was a great job by the Odd One coming by. He actually waited right until Ken used that lightning rush and had no escape left. Jumped right in there, smacked him with his pistol. Did a really good job there, picked that one up. Level 3 on the Gangplank. Fiddlesticks actually not doing a too bad job despite losing his blue buff. Actually is keeping up in experience. At least he's close. He's level 3 with almost no XP bar. Gangplank actually just tagged 4, so actually a full level now gained by the Odd One by just amazing ganking and a great early jungle aggression. You see Kaox doing a good job. The team is still up about 2,000 gold. They're actually just growing their advantage. But here comes Gangplank again, off on a Shales. A great pulverized headbutt.
They push
nice damage
right into Vayne.
Yep, Yoon gonna get jumped on. Oh, Kaox going for the damage. Exhaust off on both sides. They might be okay. Still going for the damage output.
He parlayed Alistar.
That's a mistake. That one's not so happy.
Oh, this is a great draw right there. I actually thought that Shales was going to push Gangplank right back into Vayne, but Vayne rolling out of the bush. Yeah, I was able to dodge that and pretty much get out in time. Very nice job there. Almost a bad moment for them. And it looks like really early they are going to give this to Gragas. Very nice job on the donation of blue buff to Reginald here.
Yeah, it's really, really smart for them. Gragas extremely strong with blue buff. Not only can he just spam out abilities, he's a great poking champion with that barrel roll, but also his passive, whenever he casts a spell, he regenerates a portion of his health over time. And so if you have infinite mana and low cooldowns, you can pretty much keep that passive on forever and just constantly regen and constantly stay at full health. In addition to the free mana he's getting from the blue buff and from his W, giving him some more mana there, that Drunken Rage being used. And so Reginald pretty much is able to do kind of whatever he wants, just, you know, coming in there, last hitting minions, spamming down on a Pooh Bear, doing some nice damage here, last hitting with his bonus attack damage. There's the ult coming by, just poking him around. I mean, he's got low cooldowns, you know, who really cares, right? It's a, you know, nice low cooldown. There we go, 64 seconds, yeah, not a big deal.
Looks like Gangplank going for his red. He's just going to start up in the jungle. Odd One continuing his path as we see Fiddle actually has his red. He's going to go back and we're going to see what he buys right off the bat here. He's just got Dorans and it looks like he is kind of waiting to see what else he wants to buy. Oh no, just grabbing back his HP and mana. So he goes back into lane with those Dorans, not really looking to purchase an item right now as he continues to go through. We do see TSM with a few better items, especially in the jungle. Already a Madrids. Fiddle, not really a character that gets a Madrid, so he doesn't have to worry about that. He just drains everything to death. Odd One making his way around with red buff. He does still have those oranges, so he can get himself up into a ganking position here and try to do something. It looks like he may try to either counter a jungle here or go right up for this attack on Udyr.
A little surprised by Rice Panda's movements here. I mean, there's not much jungle to take, but he's kind of chilling by the turret. And there's Avon. They found him, and here comes the pressure coming in. There's the fear and the drain. Avon taking a lot of damage right here. Dominic going to come in there. A lot of damage being done on both sides. Going to get the kill. It's going to be close. Will he tick down with Ignite? Yes, he will. There's a good trade back there. Now, Rice Panda's got to be afraid of the Rain Man, but Rain Man is low, so he could probably face tank, and he's got to be careful. The burst damage could be too much. He's going to come on in. There's the fear. Can he get the kill? Silence and drain. Not enough in time, but the minions going for the kill on Rain Man. Can they pick it up? The damage output is pretty high. 19 health with the health potion is enough. That was close.
That was funny. Rain Man turned around and he's like, I'm gonna attack this. Probably looked at his bar and was like, wait, I don't have that revolver yet. I only have 2 tomes. Pieced out into the bush. Finally got out of there. Amazing job. Oh wow, Fiddle almost picking up that kill for himself as well. Good trade top.
And the Ignite, he could actually, it's gonna be close. He will survive one more tick. Yep, 14 health. Whew. Close. Nice aggression by Reginald. Slightly underestimated his damage, or overestimated his damage output, but even still, forced the recall. It's just a cooldown. Bringing a cooldown for a recall is not a big deal. You know, it's really not a problem to do that. It's actually pretty good for him. And finally now, Rice Panda can actually take a buff. Wouldn't that be nice? Actually be able to use blue buff on Fiddlesticks. Freaking 9 minutes into the game, actually gets a blue. So I really do have to hand it to Rice Panda. It is hard jungling this Fiddle without a buff, but he did a very good job. He actually kept up with Gangplank. Certainly Gangplank got a gank or two. That's really nice, but he actually kept up in the jungle, did a pretty good job there. And now he's, of course, closer and closer to level 6. That's going to be scary. Odd One actually taking a lot of damage from Dominate. Rayman coming by as well, but he's got that turtle shell, so not too big of a problem. You can see his health bar not really falling too quickly. He's going to be all right. Fiddle 6 just crushing now onto these jungle monsters, getting close and close and close and close to level 6.
Oh, Ezreal just throwing out an ulti. Taking one out, just getting some minions down on bottom. Not really poking too much damage. They're kind of just trading minion kills back and forth. You can see both of the both teams on bottom have like 100% HP. Fiddle setting up here. He is right in the ward though. Unfortunately, Akali, Rain Man still playing very strong on Udyr. Has a mark on him, going for another mark just at harass. Dominate doing a very good job of just throwing up the shield. We'll see if they can get a push over the side here. He wants to get Akali to come down just enough so he can ulti over the wall, but it seems like they're going for something right here. Akali just leaves lane knowing Udyr is quite pushed.
It's Dragon.
And they will, be going for Dragon. Rain Man coming around, seen in the bush, so they're kind of deterred by that. They do want to go for Dragon. Oh, he pushes him back. Can they get the stun on this one? Not the stun, rather, but the slow. And it did not happen there.
They're just going to take Dragon off this, I think. They should. They've forced Kennen to be kind of low. Actually, they didn't do enough damage to really push him away, but yeah, there they go. TSM's going for it. They do have map vision of every champion on the map. This Udyr does not have teleport, so...
Oh no, Dragon resetting. Odd One taking so much damage from Dragon right now. Like 100 health a hit, and then Dragon will also burn like Red Buff does, so he's going to have to be careful about that. He does stay alive with about 100 HP left on his bar.
They definitely could have won that fight.
Yeah, Complexity tries to come in just at the last second. The CV was a little too late, and yeah, that fight would have been all theirs and probably Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, Reginald without his ultimate, Gangplank got down about 150 health. Ezreal's there helping, that's fine, but Ezreal, you know, not doing tons of damage, just has the Wriggles and 2 Doran's Blades. Meanwhile, actually, Yoon, I guess it's behind him, to be fair. I mean, the double first blood gave him a lot of free gold, but, you know, Ezreal is not going to be super scary. Soda, not super scary. Of course, he does have that ultimate. That's kind of nice, but realistically, I think they had a really good chance there, but did not happen in this case. Let's see if they're going to do anything about this.
Good damage down bottom. Yoon taking quite a bit there, and just from a few Qs of Chaos, so his damage already quite high. He did get a Wriggles for himself. That's going to help him farm in lane, as well as get a lot of gold to do his favor. He won't have to worry about last hitting too much if it happens on the proc of the Wriggles, so just have that gold to himself. Really nice item to have, especially if you get left alone in the lane. Rain Man here just farming up. Looks like Udyr will back with the push of that lane. He may choose to stop that. We do see blue once again being donated to Reginald. Perfect timing there. He's actually quite out of mana. And bottom lane continuing to go at it as the jungles pretty much in their respective spots.
Yep, and Complexity's doing a good job of holding the gold potential, the gold values not far apart. Certainly the early advantage was huge for TSM, and they've gotten that dragon now. But aside from the dragon, they've really not been growing their gold lead. So despite being in, winning the game by, a nice stretch at the very early on, they've not been able to snowball that away. Complexity's doing a good job of keeping themselves in decent shape. And actually, Yoon is actually maxing Condemned. He's actually going for that burst damage, the stun against the wall. And there's the Fiddlesticks in there, has dropped the Crow Storm. A lot of damage output coming back, but the dance from Stone is in there. But there is Shales. Oh my gosh, the damage output, massive. Xpecial does survive. Rice Panda getting dropped by Ezreal. Ezreal given the red buff. And there is Gragas. Goodbye, Yoon. Oh, good flash.
The flash roll makes him invisible, but I don't think they care about this turret right now. Ezreal does have Arcane Shift, and I believe he still has flash up. No, he actually gets tagged just outside of Slicing Maelstrom. Chaos did not expect to get hit.
Nice move.
Little tip of the hat there to Nubby Pooh Bear. Very well played. And Xpecial, they will be forced out of this one. So much damage from Gragas on that. The Q is coming out doing over 300 damage, 285 plus 46 magic damage. And it is, oh my,
321.
Wow, yep, and a 40% attack speed debuff on that hit.
Yeah, that's definitely really awesome for Reginald. He's doing a great job with this. He's going to push down the bottom lane. They were not quite able to chase down through. They were kind of low on cooldowns and health. Dominate still shoving the top wave. Let's look at the gold income. So 3,400 on Udyr. Akali only at 33. So yeah, I Will Dominate is outlaning Akali. Look at that minion kills, 57 to 84. And we did see last game that the Rain Man playing Udyr really won the game for his team last time. And, he's getting outlaned. I think I Will Dominate has the potential to do that. If it weren't for that first blood kill, Raymond would be so far behind. But, got the assist credit. And, wow, Fiddlesticks is right there. He's going to keep baiting around in that cloud. And as soon as that ends, he's going to jump in on that. He's got the Fear and the Drain. He does not have his ultimate up. It's still about 25 seconds away from cooling. But they could jump this kid.
Really great play by I Will Dominate. He could go up and try to get a few hits and attack, but he is absolutely waiting for Akali, for Rain Man to just feel totally safe in his lane. And Rice Panda is not jumping the gun because he knows that this Fear, Crow Storm coming up, and Fear may walk Akali into the turret.
Here it goes.
Bam, coming out of
There's
the side.
The Fear, they're gonna go for it. The sun's up in there, it's getting silenced, and oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I stole that fight from you, but I had to.
No, not at all. Not at all.
It's my avatar, man, I got to. If it's a Crow Storm, it's mine. I call dibs.
Odd one coming up, seeing that Akali was absolutely drained of all her HP there, and he is going to try to hold this lane.
I get it, drained.
Yeah, thanks.
Drained of her HP.
I knew somebody would catch it.
You're hilarious.
Thanks for catching the ball. Make me feel good.
Don't
Here we
worry,
go.
man.
We got Reginald just bombing around at the top of the river here, going back in. Still has his blue buff. Let's see how far that is down and gone. About 40 or 75% gone.
Oh, wow.
He has a little bit of that left. Going back towards Kennen. Probably ultimate away. Going down bottom. We're going to see this fight going on. The crescendo coming out. The dancing going off. And the dance party is exited stage left by Complexity. They wanted nothing to do with that. Chaos firing off the ulti, but the ultimate's still on of Shales, and he will not take too much damage. Very nice job there, and still Xpecial and Chaos coming out of that at 100 HP, or 100% health, I should say, and Shales doing what he can to slam on that E key and get the heals back up for Yoon and himself.
So there's a 2,000 gold difference between Vayne and Ezreal. So Ezreal's got like Sheen plus Wriggles. Yoon can now afford a BF sword at 15 minutes. It's not good for him. That's really harsh. Whoa, sorry, I missed the kill. Gragas actually took down Ken in the middle of the map, just soloed him 1v1. As that's what would happen when you solo someone. Thank you for laughing at my amazing English command. Command of English? Exactly, point proven. So Yoon just dropping down some of these purple caster minions, the OP-est of minions. That's a word. And, yeah, Fiddlesticks is waiting for a push there from Akali. Why don't get that same kill as last time, the Crow Storm over the wall, just that crushing right there. A couple of clairvoyants going off. Looks like, let's see, blue team actually has some decent ward control. Like, Fooksy has the view of the top lane. Fiddlesticks still around there. Team Solo Mid actually watching the bottom jungle quite well. There's Akali coming down to the bottom. Actually might catch Fiddle in the back. He's gotta be a little afraid. Rice Pan is there. There's oh, nice. That's really smart from Rayman. He warded the comment, and he doesn't know. he does not know that got warded. So Rice Panda's going to come back there and try to do a Crow Storm bait, and he's going to be like...
We just see Rain Man walking back and forth, just in range, just out of range. And that would be really great to know that's there, because then Rice Panda just sits there all game and really doesn't get the situation he wants.
Exactly.
So you can totally play Rain Man on that. It's
exactly.
like Nubby, Pooh Bear, and Rice Panda both making some moves. Nubby's like, hey, my Wraiths, they're gone. And Rice Panda's like, actually, they were mine, but yeah, they are. And now they're moving up here back into mid lane. Reginald still in lane, just keeping himself there. He took the turret and allowed those blue minions to push back a little bit. Now he has it in mid, a very safe farming location. Looks like Gangplank is coming down bottom. I believe Dragon is up, and we may see that in a few minutes for the second Dragon of the game.
Indeed, and yep, they're going to start moving on over. You see Gragas heading down, but actually Rice Panda's in a good spot. They don't see him. He's going to get face checked by a Gragas, though. He could get bursted.
He had nothing to do with that situation.
Nice lead. That was a nice lead by Reginald. That was a good predict. Yeah, they can't go for this. It's a good Dragon pickup. A nice job. Is that second or third for TSM?
That'll be 2.
All right, well, good job by Solomon so far. And there's a jump on I Will Dominate. Rainman doing a great job of actually bursting before he can turn around and turtle stance him, or tiger stance him. So that's working well right there. Getting a little bit of sustain from that burst damage as well. Fiddle going for the red buff. Should donate it to Vayne if he can, but just might keep this for himself. Maybe he doesn't have the time to pull it on over. But Yoon finally has picked up some items. You can see he got most of Bloodthirster. Not boost just yet, but it's going to be much more sustained, a lot more health picked up, so that's going to help him a lot. And the cool thing is these players are doing asymmetrical builds. So you see Kaox going for Wriggles and a Trinity Force, Yoon's going for Bloodthirster. So there's no like obvious like one person's a step ahead. It's just like which item combo works better. See Rayman pushing away onto Dominate. Actually has a defensive ward in that brush. Wants to be aware of Fiddlesticks. It's a smart idea. Ooh, Reginald with a good. This could be a kill. He's only at 900 health. This could be pretty good for Reginald.
They do have really good wards in that spot. He's only walking through his own team's wards, and Dominate is pushing forward. It's exactly what they want. Rainman kind of wants to take a little bit of damage here. He wants Dominate to feel like he's winning the situation, but Reginald pulling off. He's going to go back to his lane, says we probably don't have anything on that attack, and they are going to go back to just getting XP. They're not wasting any moment for that to happen, and it's really been helping them in the game. There's a defensive ward down bottom, and Candy Panda is sitting right on top of it. Very nice job. Or Rice Panda.
You've casted a lot of SK games, haven't
you? Rice Panda.
Nif right there as well.
Bottom. Yeah, right. And we're going to see that this is not going to give them any advantage, and they will just have to kind of back away from that. Wow, going on to this. Reginald coming out of nowhere, absolutely blowing up the jungler. Fiddlesticks goes down, and we are going to have to see what they can continue to do here, right? Or Shales, a lot of damage down to him. Vayne still in the fight, could get parlayed down here. Nubby Pooh Bear taking a good amount of damage. They should just be attacking the turret. They really didn't need these minions, and they should have forced on through. A very nice job bottom lane. A great job by Reginald pinching out there and to come down bottom, and we can see how much those two wards, one at Wraiths and one at that Tri-Bush, really just gave them the advantage in that fight.
And I want to call it something for that Kaox did. He actually got extremely low and was dying to ignite, and actually managed to plink 2 to 3 minions and life stole enough to survive. He actually, at the very end, got a plus 50 from one of the shots, and he lived with 48 health. So he actually barely kept himself alive by life stealing against the ignite. He was like, I'm gonna die, attack, don't miss skill shots against minions, please, dear. And then, stayed alive, so that was nice. And here we go, Rayman, I will Dominate fighting again, but Dominate, he's still doing really, really well. He's got 126 minions to Akali's 104, so he's actually closed that gap a little bit. He's only 20 minions behind now, even despite dying to that Crow Storm not long ago. So they're both farming. Rayman getting very far ahead. You can see he's actually got his Gunblade. It's actually kind of the gameplay that they want, that, Akali can really scale in a late game, and because they're keeping Vayne and Fiddlesticks down, that they're actually going to keep them as available sort of burst targets. There's really, Akali can choose to not hit Alistar and not hit Udyr and just blow up the squishies.
They want this again. They love this setup. Again, Rice Panda waiting to just pop out of the bush. His ulti is not up. He does have a bit of time on that. It's just over
40
half.
seconds.
Yeah. So we'll have to see what he can produce here. He could wait it out. He is just going to run out. They're going for the bear stance, and it did require a flash to be expanded by Rainman. Very nice job there. We do see Gragas and the odd one coming up top. Wow, we're going to have an awesome fight top lane as Gragas and Gangplank both entering the fray. They will straight go for one. A great stun there, and huge damage coming out to Rice Panda. They know that's a quick focus. He's been in the jungle. He really has had no time to build any itemization to mitigate the damage coming from anybody on TSM, and they are just going to take this one down. It looks like this top turret will fall. They will not be able to stop this from happening.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty good. A little bit of damage coming out. Dominic getting a little bit low.
Don't even want the turret.
Yeah, I think Reginald kind of wasted his ultimate a bit early by hitting that Fiddlesticks, who was probably already going to die. They could have maybe picked up that Udyr. They're going to get the turret regardless, though. They got a kill for it, 11-3 overall. They picked up another 4th turret kill of the game. They've not lost the turret, not lost the dragon. Only 3 deaths, and that's kind of evenly spread out. But Yeah, they've been controlling the pace of this game quite a lot.
Looks like they're gonna go ahead and get blue.
Too.
Yeah, they got some vision there as well though, so that's gonna help them out. Actually, a nice job by Special taking out the ward they did have. That's gonna start hurting a little bit. That's all that extra gold that you're spending on wards. Not that it's that much.
Wow.
Oh wow, taking half health from Shales to Alistar, usually quite a tanky character. Checking out his build right now, and it looks like he's just got the Philo. He's looking for that gold per 10, and he is not getting it actually. Well, he is getting it, but not getting any. Yeah, they are going to be able to capitalize on this fight. Gangplank ulti coming out, pushing Dominate back, and Chaos is trying to pinch him in as well. This fight is just back and forth. They really don't have a sure initiate, but they really don't have any reason to walk away from this.
Yeah, that's for sure. They're going to keep poking. They have really good range. They've got him pinned on both sides, KX from one, Reginald from the other, and they're really unable to really retreat from this. So as long as Fiddlesticks is away, they kind of overstay their welcome and just kind of win the 5v4. They've got to be careful not to get caught, but unless Alistar can like flash headbutt, pulverize, KX is going to be okay with this. And now Reginald's going to come on through. There's the ult, and Yoon is pretty screwed. Oh, but a good jump, and there's the ult. Will pick up Yoon. Nice job there. Reginald taking a lot of damage. He might drop, but he's staying alive just barely. And there's the Crow Storm as well. And Reginald could fall from this. It's going to be close. No, he will over DPS that and be okay. That will Dominate will fall down as well. And they've actually managed to keep everyone alive except Special. Picked up all of them. Shale's now in the back, was not able to keep those CCs going. And a good job by TSM. Have picked up 4 kills in a row, just losing the 1 support, and that's going to be okay. They're now on to the inhibitor. Shale's not in a happy place. Will ult, but oh my gosh, the damage output, it's pretty large.
Reginald just fierce right now. Really not taking any damage here. Takes a bit. Could he get hit from the turret? And he does. Finally goes down. That kill spree ends. It does go to Alistar. Really not going to be able to buy too many items to mitigate what is going on right now in this game. But as you can see, they came out of that fight. They were initiating for quite some time, but they don't have that much health. So these fights could be winnable by complexity, but the damage output right now from TSM is so quick because of Reginald just able to displace and do so much damage so often with either the belly or the body slam or just his Q.
Yeah, and a lot of it was actually Rice Panda is unfortunately only level 10. If he had gotten, you know, another 400 experience at some point over the course of the game, was level 11, he would have wiped them all out. It was really just that. It was just not being quite as far enough ahead where, you know, TSM has so much global experience and gold from the turret kills that they're all a little bit more durable than the complexity players, but really the extra 100 damage per second on that Crow Storm would have completely changed that one around. Rice Panda got caught a couple times, you know, he's a little bit behind in gold where he'd like to be, and it's really just those small advantages that TSM managed to gain through the early game that actually made them survive with like 10% health on that fight. And, you know, that's when those little advantages can actually just mean a whole lot for getting aced versus, you know, crushing.
All right, so we kind of saw that, a really aggressive play by TSM now. They're kind of pulling back, getting the buffs back into their favor. Reginald's going to grab blue. We're going to see a red onto a Kali. They're going to set up again, go ahead for another push. They got Dragon going on already. There's so much control of the map right now. This could actually be a fight, but they're not even worried about it. Complexity doesn't really have too much vision on the map, so they have to be very wary of where they walk, but they should also be checking these things. Just by looking at Dragon, they could somewhat push them off it, kind of make them hesitant about it, but they're really not getting in the face of TSM at all right now. I don't blame them, however. There's a lot of damage to be taken from Reginald, but they still do have to kind of counteract whatever TSM is doing. They cannot give them free reign.
Absolutely, you can see the pokes moving back and forth. A great ult, and Pure Bear is so incredibly screwed. Pops the ult, will probably still go down, but actually great damage over here. They're going to pick up 1 or 2. The Crow Storm is off, and yes, they've actually picked up the kill onto a Special, and they're going to dive on through. I will Dominate Yoon in there as well, and then can they get the damage out? But they are a little bit low. Going to jump onto Abun. There's the flash over the wall. Can you pick up the kill on Chaos? It's going to be close. Couple more attacks. Can he pick it up? He jumps over the wall. Yes, that's Yoon getting a kill. Reginald Triply Low is going to pick that one up as well. Abun and the Rayman. Rayman is chasing down onto Yoon. Abun going to chase her out by I will Dominate. Race Panda's nearby. There's a damage of Abun is trying to get away. Yoon around the backhand side, but now so much damage from Kali. Yoon's going to go down to a turret. That was a little bit of a mistake there. Going to jump down onto the Rayman. The Rayman's going to pick that one up. Abun as well. There's a mistake from Yoon to go through there, and now Rayman going to pick up I will Dominate almost definitely. Get those last few kills there. Trying to run away, but Rainman almost certainly going to pick this one up. The Q comes out. There's a smoke cloud, and Dominate, you are very screwed, buddy. That will be a drop. Unfortunately, they overstayed their welcome. Rainman was able to sustain against that fight. I think really Vayne could have lived. She didn't know where everyone else on the team was and could have recalled, but they had a great initial fight there. Really good by Yoon taking down that Ezreal by Chaos, but I think they just misplayed the endgame battle a little bit. Rainman did a great job mopping that one up.
Yeah.
Did pick up all those kills at the end. And Abun just managed to stay alive as well. You see his build a little bit different, has gotten that fast sheen, going for a little bit more damage output with his build, and it's really paid off for him. He's done a great job killing people. And
you know, that's one of those fights where I believe Complexity felt great about everything that was happening.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's almost demoralizing when you see, like, oh, Akali wasn't there. She still has 100 HP as she comes into the fight, you know? Or 100%. Yeah.
100 HP. Oh,
100
no.
Oh, there's a Kali with 100 HP. So, yeah, they're going to be able to take this turret down. A great job there, which is kind of scary for Complexity at this point because in a 4v5 fight, they did amazingly well and they did a lot of damage, but there was one missing. So maybe next time they get that crescendo down, or rather they get the ultimate down from Fiddle on everybody, and it's really going to be able to help if they don't get that crescendo because they played that very well. Gragas was able to just throw Kennen back, and instantly, out of the hands of Xpecial, came the full team stun. Great job there. Akali just kind of waiting it out, and they will get a blue steal in favor for Gragas. A great donation there. Akali and Gragas both with blue. She doesn't gain as much. She still gets to cool down a little bit of energy buff regen, but really for Gragas, that is awesome on all of his cooldowns. And it looks like they are going to force a Baron fight and probably get it for themselves.
They know about it. TSM can see them. Actually, you can't see them off this path.
Wow,
that's where they're going. They can kill it in time, but they don't see him coming just yet. And here it goes. They're going to jump into the fight. And here we go. Kennen ults up, and it's a lot of damage. And here we go. Who can get picked up? Rice Panda already dropping. Looks like Gragas has fallen, though, as well. It's going to be a good trade. And keep going for the damage up. But Udyr has fallen. A lot of kills there. TSM crushing their faces. I will dominate, trying to stay alive, will not be able to do so. Vayne is the last one up, and she did get kind of pushed away. So TSM doing a great job keeping everyone alive. They did get that good initiation. They did kill that Gragas, but that's going to be a game. The forfeit does go off, and Complexity will drop out of this one. It's going to be a 2-0 for Team Solo Mid, picking that one up. The next game of the day is going to be Dignitas versus Curse. This is probably going to be one of the closest matches of this now roughly evening right here. TSM with a 2-0, but Curse Dignitas going to be really close. I believe both those teams actually are -1 player, as they have a lot of really young players there who actually couldn't make it to the tournament due to age constraints. We're going to see how well they can do putting together these lineups. They're going to be really, really interesting games. And those will be the ones next. I believe we will. We're likely to have an interview with the players in the near future. But let's talk about the team comps and the play styles here. That Gragas was very helpful. But the thing is, it wasn't even like Gragas misplacing Fiddlesticks. It was Fiddlesticks got his face bursted off.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. I think there's not much you can do as Fiddle. He was so harassed in the beginning. You can come out a little bit stronger in late game, but it makes you look like that because you kill everybody so fast as he was getting killed. He usually doesn't have. He doesn't give you the time to do damage to him. But in that, he was so focused down. He was. I think it was maybe 2 minutes and 45 seconds when he was actually able to start his jungle, almost a minute late. And they had free reign over it. They took his blue buff. And as you even said, he was doing a great job, but then really got countered once Reginald knew. He's like, one of my barrels pretty much takes him 75% health down. And they started to really act on that. And I think that's a little bit where it faltered, but there's not much you can do about that. It's not Rice Panda's fault. They played an amazing, aggressive beginning jungle game.
Oh, yeah. And there's not a lot you can do. When you're Fiddlesticks, you're rank 1 drain. It's some nice damage. Like it's actually really high damage output, but you're stuck there, tanking one guy 1v1, and you're level 1 as a caster. Like you'll just get attacked and die most likely. And Kayak got a great early kill, early double kill early on. I mean, he got super far ahead. I mean, I wanted to keep going back to like the points where, if Fiddle were 1 level higher, that rank 2 Crowstorm would have probably mopped up the team. In a lot of these fights, it was probably Xpecial getting a really good clairvoyance. Like, there's a fight, clairvoyance the brush. Oh, we found him. Ults, go. And like they would pick him off. But there were like those 3 fights where like Kennen and Fiddle got their ults off. Someone probably feared Gragas, and it was just like AoE mop-ups everywhere. Oh gosh, everyone's dying. Vayne gets away from Ezreal, and just like people blowing up all over the place. But TSM did a great job of mopping up because Fiddle did not have quite enough AP to completely crush that game. He was not one-shotting everyone. That's really what their comp was about, and it would have worked so well if they hadn't lost that early game. But they lost the double kill, and they lost the blue buff, and that's so harsh to get back from. And they fought valiantly. They did a really good job despite those disadvantages. But yeah, TSM played the early game perfectly, and then they just barely clung, hung on, during those other fights, and it was, Akali solo top against Udyr, getting outmatched a little bit. Udyr was out CSing her. You can see for quite some time, even at the very end of the game, 153 to 127. But when your whole team does so well, when the whole team does that well, despite Udyr having those extra minion kills, Udyr had 6.7 thousand gold. Akali had 10.3, and a lot of that's being 8, 1, and 9 kills give you a lot of gold. Surprisingly. But the overall team effort was great. And you can look, at Sona, right? Actually, way more gold than the Alistar by actually like 3,000 gold because of all the assists and the dragons and stuff that the team brought on. That's going to let you get very far ahead. And you can see just Sona was able to buy more awards, carry oracles at all times, and actually get much farther ahead. And that was actually extremely powerful. All right, so at this point, we're going to kick it over to commercials and promos. We're going to be back with interviews afterwards. So stay tuned. We're going to be right back